Interestingly, the main camera on the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max is now also said to get a slight upgrade. Don't expect a bigger sensor. That upgrade is rumored for the 2025 iPhone 16 Pro devices. But leaker at RG Cloud S claims this year Apple is upgrading to so-called hybrid optics instead of plastic lenses as usual. This year, we might see Apple use one glass lens and 6 plastic lens elements for the main camera, and also bump the aperture from f1.75 to f1.7. This new system should improve the light gathering ability of the main camera by 15% to 20%. iPhone 15 Pro Max. To have the periscope zoom lens be the middle one. Swapping places with the ultra-wide camera, which moves to the top bit the camera that everyone is talking about this year is that brand new periscope zoom lens, which will be only available on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, reports say Lonti Optics. One of the companies that is rumored to supply Apple with this camera continues raising its capacity for the prism required to make this lens. Renowned analyst Meticulously predicted way back in July 2022 that a 5 to 6x periscope zoom lens would be an exclusive feature of the iPhone 15 Pro Max. The famed analyst claimed this periscope lens will remain a feature reserved for the Pro Max models, and the cheaper iPhones will not get it in the next couple of years. The smaller iPhone 15 Pro model will also not get a periscope lens because of space constraints. But next year's iPhone 16 Pro model is rumored to get a slightly larger screen and will incorporate that new lens more recently in April 2023. Macklemore's corroborated this rumor, and Meticulously once again confirmed his expectations that the iPhone 15 Pro Max will have a 5 to 6x periscope zoom lens. Our current understanding is that the Pro Max model will swap the 3x zoom camera for this longer 5 to 6x periscope zoom lens, so it will still have a triple rear camera system. We even hear some sources suggest Apple might have a range of native zoom levels, not just one fixed field of view like on most other phones. However, that one seems a bit too wild, and we would take it with a grain of salt. Last but not least, the camera app might get some new features too. We don't know much about that yet, but we will be updating this section with new information as it comes in. iPhone 15 storage specs. Apple has been equipping all iPhone models with 128 GB of storage as a baseline, but this might change with the iPhone 15 series launch. Below are all the different storage versions for each iPhone 15 model that we expect to see, based on the leaks and rumors. While the regular iPhone 15 and 15 Plus models are still projected to have a base 128 GB version, the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max might start at 256 GB of built-in storage, double what we had before. iPhone 15's Plus expected storage capacity 128 GB to 156 GB, 512 GB. iPhone 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max expected storage capacity 256 GB, 512 GB, 1 TB. iPhone 15 design features. iPhone 15 Pro models to swap stainless steel for much lighter titanium. We have already seen leaked CAD renders which reveal the size and design style of the iPhone 15 Pro. And just look at that giant camera on the back. The iPhone 14 Pro already had a pretty large camera bump, and the one on the iPhone 15 Pro is even bigger. The elephant in the room, however, has got to be the switch to a USB-C port from Lightning. For years, Apple has resisted using a USB-C port on the iPhone, despite using one for its iPads, first on an iPad Pro in 2018 and MacBooks first in 2015. But new regulation from the European Commission seems to have finally forced it to make the switch. One of the most reliable Apple insiders, Mark Gurman, says that USB-C is essentially a lock for the iPhone 15. Renowned insider Mink-Ikuo also confirms this. In leaked CAD renders obtained by 9to5Mac in February 2023 showcase that all new iPhone 15 models will indeed make the switch to Type-C, faster USB-C transfer speeds on iPhone 15 Pro models. The latest talk on the grapevine specifies that the Pro and Pro Max models will support faster USB transfer speeds too, while the vanilla ones will stick with the same slow USB 2.0 speeds that they had with the Lightning connector. The Pro models are said to support at least USB 3, 2 or Thunderbolt 3, which would mean transfer speeds of up to 40 Gbps. Great for moving large files like ProRes video, for example. However, there is a caveat. Apple will likely use MFI USB-C certification, so only certified USB-C cables could get the cool features like fast charging and high-speed data transfers. Also, we are not sure if you would be able to just say plug in any SSD for a file transfer, or if transfers would work only with Apple-approved accessories. Leakster at Shrimpaplepro claims that cables lacking MFI certification will. Shrimpaplepro claims that cables lacking MFI certification will be limited in their data and charging speeds. As for design and looks, Apple is said to evolve the current one. You will still have flat sides and a flat screen, but the borders around the screen could be curved to achieve a look similar to the Apple Watch. The 6.1 inch and 6.7 inches sizes are expected to remain unchanged, despite some rumors claiming a slightly larger 6.2 size could replace the current 6.1 model. However, iPhone 15 cases will have just slightly different proportions, just an AUG, so that you will not be able to use your current iPhone 14 or iPhone 13 cases on the iPhone 15 models, iPhone with titanium instead of aluminum. While the looks might be similar, Apple is rumored to address the #1 concern of many people about the current Pro Series iPhones: their weight. While the base iPhone 15 and 15 Plus models will allegedly still come with aluminum frames, the Pro versions will swap the previously used stainless steel for titanium, a much lighter material that Apple is also using on other products like the Apple Watch Ultra. On Apple Watches, we have seen the titanium model weigh some 10% less than the stainless steel version of the same watch, so while it's not as lightweight as aluminum, this would still be a noticeable improvement compared to stainless steel. Titanium also has superb scratch resistance, as brushed titanium hides micro scratches better than stainless steel. We are really happy about this development. Making the Pro models lighter has long been on our wish list. Haptic button versus physical buttons on iPhone 15 Pro. Up until recently, multiple sources claimed the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max models will swap the familiar physical power and volume keys for solid-state ones. That would have been a monumental change. However, in April, news surfaced that Apple is facing issues with those haptic buttons and the move will not happen, at least not this year. This means that all iPhone 15 models will still feature the familiar physical keys, just like all previous iPhones. According to some recently leaked cases, there could be minuscule differences in the placement of -1 buttons. The power and the volume buttons are seemingly placed slightly lower than their iPhone 14's counterparts, which would further render any existing cases incompatible with the upcoming iPhone 15. New Action button on Pro Series. Volume buttons are seemingly placed slightly lower than their iPhone 14's counterparts, which would further render any existing cases incompatible with the upcoming iPhone 15. New Action button on Pro Series. But despite the power and volume keys not changing, what is still expected to change is the mute switch that iPhones have had since the very first one. Well, at least on the Pro models. Apple is expected to swap that switch for a programmable action button on the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max. You will still be able to set it to mute and unmute the system, but also as many different things. Some of the possible functions include pressing it to start the camera, for example. And speaking of major changes, one change this time coming to even the base iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus model is the Dynamic Island. Apple introduced that feature with the 14 Pro models last year, and now all iPhone models will support it, and yes, this means the end of the notch that made its debut nearly 6 years ago in 2017 on the iPhone X. iPhone 15 Face ID. Apple is expected to use the same Face ID Dynamic Island system that it used on the iPhone 14 Pro series now across all for iPhone 15 models. Analysts, however, say that the company is developing a fancy invisible aka under-display Face ID system for future iPhones. It will not arrive on the iPhone 15 series, but Korean publication The Elect suggests some iPhone 16 models may have it as soon as 2024. Others like analyst Ross Young also believes Apple is working on such a feature, but expects it to arrive no earlier than the iPhone 17 family. Such a system would be a nice improvement. iPhone 15 colors. Finally, we have early rumors about the iPhone 15 color options. We expect Apple to stick with a glossy finish and 6 color options for the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Plus, while the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max will come in for colorways. The new and signature color for the iPhone 15 Pro family is expected to be called Deep Red, or more specifically the color that goes with the hex code for 10DOD. Rumored iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max color options: Space Black, Silver, Gold, Deep Red. This deep red version could replace the deep purple color, which was the signature colors for the iPhone 14 Pro series.